Geek Tank Radio. News Talk 98.9, the roar of Memphis.
Welcome, everyone. We are the Geek Patrol, and our microphones don't have a stun setting. Today, we're joining you from the unveiling ceremony for the Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau statues that have just been installed at the Geek Tank Radio studios. Well-deserved. Probably long overdue, you guys.
I hope they don't topple them like they did in the Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, don't let us down, you guys. I mean, so far, so good. And Brandon's rolling his eyes. I don't know. This was
I don't see any reason to putting these statues up here. We could have done holograms for about a quarter of the price.
All right, I don't care.
Got rid of that Javier Baez statue.
Hey.
Yeah,
anyway,
they didn't get rid of it. It's in Joe's car.
Yeah, I put that at my
He
house.
stole it.
Anyway, welcome to Geek Tank Radio, everybody. I'm Joe Thorderson, here with my friends Brandon Olmstead and Allan Gilbreth and our buddy Max behind the glass. Well, I know most of the country, well, most of the southern half of the country and the north, I guess we all got pounded by storms, and a lot of us have lost power. Our power is out, Brandon, so... and I think Max's house, his power is out too, so we are not up to date on the latest episode of...
That's going to be sad when I start spoiling things for you.
Yeah, please don't spoil it, because the Book of Boba Fett, the new episode, which might also be called Mandalorian Season 3...
well, no. I would say that this is the Mando interlude.
Okay, boy, is it good stuff. And, of course, it's killing me that I wasn't here last week to weigh in on probably the greatest line ever uttered in Star Wars, which is, I used to date a Jawa.
Well...
You already said that's all over the internet, right?
It is.
T-shirts.
There's
memes.
pictures. There's a very famous meme from the '90s X-Men cartoon that has Wolverine, putting his hand on the picture of Scott and Jean, and people change out the picture all the time. Well, in this one, they made Wolverine's head a Jawa's head, and it's got Peli Motto in the picture, and then. We don't even want to talk about the number of day of the week shirt design companies that have had stuff out.
They're coming. I might be tempted to get one. It sounds like
all I gotta say is ooh.
So it'll be spoiler light. I hope Brandon discussing the Book of Boba Fett.
I will do my best to keep it very spoiler light. This time when we talk about the Mando, the Book of Boba Fett. I mean, whatever Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau told me I'm supposed to watch.
And yeah, so guys, we've had 2 years. We've gotten used to this whole shutdowns and lockdowns and everything, and we've had to geek out in unique ways. Well, now I'm trying to figure out how to geek out when the power is out. I know you can read a book, but I'm wondering if there's something a little more exciting too than just that. So maybe we've got some tips later in the show.
I feel so slammed.
Yeah,
I feel so slammed. I guess I could resort to going back into time hundreds of years and deigning to read a book.
Well, reading by candlelight can be exhausting.
Joe's not reading any of the kind of things you would write anyway, Allan.
Yeah, good point.
His books have pictures.
Yeah. Anyway,
and mine are in Japanese.
Yeah, maybe there's ways to still enrich your geekdom even when the power goes out. Because I mean, these gamers must be losing their mind, Brandon.
No,
what are they doing?
See, that's the great thing about it is that. I know a lot of online gamers whose generators are designed specifically to run their gaming systems.
Okay.
And, so it's all good.
They don't care about heat in the house as long as they got the
Man, you just stick your feet in the Doritos bags.
There you go. Hey, before we get to any of that, though, you guys, I feel like...
I'm sorry. The look on Allan's face, guys, it's priceless. I'm sorry I can't share it with you.
Okay. Hey, before we get to that, though, all of us are up to date on the one of the latest Batman trailers. There's one where they took an entire scene. It's about 3 minutes, and it's the funeral scene. And this isn't a spoiler because it's on the internet, but my gosh, you guys, if we weren't already excited about this movie, this is as close to what I've been looking for 30 years in a Batman movie. But
I was a little hesitant to watch it because, we're going into a mystery, and I normally don't care anything about spoilers. You could literally tell me the end of a movie. It's not going to keep me from enjoying the movie unless it's dumb.
Yeah.
So I was very hesitant to watch it, but when you told me there was no spoiler, I was like, all right, I can watch this.
Well, we don't know.
Maybe
there are spoilers.
I honestly think there is a spoiler in there somewhere, and that's the fact that Pattinson is an amazing actor without uttering a word.
He didn't say one word the whole time.
It's all facial expression and the movement of his eyes, but you know exactly what Bruce Wayne is thinking.
And who's the actor playing Commissioner Gordon?
That's Jeffrey Wright.
If you've seen him in movies and you think he's going to be too soft spoken or whatever,
No.
Commissioner Gordon was looking pretty tough in this one too.
I follow Jeffrey Wright on Twitter, and he's not known for his softness.
Yeah, and the filter they're using looks very gothic. It just looks, and I think there were a lot of really creepy elements in that funeral scene. I love the way you hear the screaming in the background and it starts to build. And I mean,
when the crowd rushes from the balcony and you can see the silhouette of, I don't know what they're calling Edward Nygma, but I'm always going to call him Nygma. Don't care what they changed his name to.
Riddler.
Yep. Yeah, we would encourage you, if you get on YouTube, if you haven't seen it, check it out. Just Google the Batman funeral scene, and we'd love to hear your thoughts.
And don't forget, guys, tickets go on sale for this Thursday, and they're already expecting, high levels of sales.
Brandon,
you don't want to miss
saying
out.
That. I don't want them to buy tickets in front of me, man. So we don't want it to be sold out. Anyway, we'll be definitely keeping a close eye on the Batman as things roll out. But when we come back, we're going to talk about the Book of Boba Fett. Spoiler light, Brandon.
I will be my best.
You're listening to Geek Tank Radio here on News Talk 98.9 The Roar of Memphis. We'll be right back.
Geek Tank Radio.
And it's not out of the question that you might have a very minor case of serious brain damage.
News Talk 98.9, The Roar of Memphis.
I mean, that's a given, right? I mean, we already know that. Tell us something we don't know, Max.
Have you looked around this room? Yeah.
And welcome back to Geek Tank Radio. I'm Joe Thorderson here with my friends Brandon Olmsted and Allan Gilbreth and our buddy Max behind the glass. And boy, it is there's a tension in the air today, folks, because for one thing, if you're listening from outside the Mid-South, maybe you've got power, maybe life's hunky-dory where you are. Here, it's the weirdest storm. We've lost, a lot of us have lost power. Max and I don't have power at our homes. And Brandon, among the other suffering that's going on, we have not been able to get up to date on the latest episode of the Book of Boba Fett, which is killing me because all the information.
Right.
You're going to have to not ruin it for us.
I'm gonna do my best to do this.
So how is
correctly.
the Book of Mando Fett?
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to jump into it just this second. I do want to give Joe a chance to, you saw the last episode, the one before this week's.
I used to date a Jawa. What a great line!
Right. Yeah. And of course, we dove into it last week at the show, but you were away, so I just wanted to get your opinions real quick on the show itself.
Okay, yeah, let's do a little unpacking of that show.
So, I mean, I know that the audience has been here before, but now they're going to be there with you. What were your thoughts when you first saw him walk in? And it's like all of a sudden you realize, hey, we're in the Mandalorian world right now. We're not on Tatooine. We're not dealing with Fett just yet.
I liked it. I was surprised we didn't see Boba Fett at all. Right, he was not in.
Right,
that
he's
episode.
not in the episode at all.
I mean, of course, I liked it because I've grown to become a big fan of the Mandalorian. I'll tell you, my favorite part of the whole thing, believe it or not, was when what's the lady's name that runs the coven?
Oh, the armorer.
The armorer. She looked at him and she said, "Have you removed your helmet?"
Yeah.
And he paused, and I'm like, "Please don't lie. Please don't lie." If he would have said. Yeah. Because he in his own mind he could have said, well, I had reason to do it, and I'm gonna say no. When he told the truth, my respect for him went up like 100-fold, and I was like, I was so glad he didn't lie.
Well, I've kind of lost my my respect for the armorer and Death Watch in general.
Oh, okay.
And it may be because of the fact that they're loyal to Maul. I mean, if you're loyal to Maul, I'm not going to be your buddy.
Well, I'm not necessarily heroes of them, but he does have the Mandalorian. Mando has his rules that he follows and everything,
right.
and he's got a code of honor, and he doesn't kill if he doesn't have to.
True, and and we're seeing where he's where. Even though the internet at whole thinks it's a horrible thing, we see where that kind of mindset has actually, invaded Boba Fett as well.
Yeah.
The whole, it's like respect kind of deal. It's like what nobody seems to realize is other than in some of the expanded universe stuff, tell me one point where Boba Fett doesn't really have any respect for anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, he was nice to one of Jabba's slave girls.
Right.
Yeah.
I did have a point though that was really fascinating, and I guess we are dealing with spoilers if you haven't seen the previous episode of
Book of
Boba Fett. But so Brandon, okay, he's wielding the Darksaber,
right?
And we see him in the middle of that opening thing. It was a mistake, first of all, for him to even pull it out, because we saw that as he uses it, it was getting so heavy because he wasn't cooperating with the blade.
Right.
Okay, well, we saw Moff Gideon using the Darksaber, but then I was thinking about, did we? Because I was like, he lost that fight against Mando at the end of the... I don't know. I guess I'm confused about this. Was Moff Gideon using the Darksaber effectively, thus he's cooperating more? Is he Force sense? I don't know. I was really intrigued
I will go
by
ahead
that.
and tell you, it's like when we see Gideon use the Darksaber, it's very sparing.
He just chops something out. He cuts his way out of the
He
hull
cuts his way out of the hull of the TIE fighter, and then later on when he is, brandishing it against, Din, and, Din, it's spear versus Darksaber. He's not fighting with the saber. He basically is letting the blade is an extension of you.
Okay. He didn't look like he was doing all that.
But because he's not that, he's not the destined wielder, he's going to have issues with it. But we saw enough in that episode of Book of Boba Fett to pretty much come to the conclusion that Din Djarin is not going to be the wielder of the Darksaber, nor is he going to be the one who unites Mandalore.
He doesn't want to be.
No.
He was
when
happy
the armorer is telling the story of the mythosaur we see on her cabinet is a different mythosaur than we have seen previously in The Mandalorian.
Did she win it or something? Or did she reforge it?
Well, no. The mythosaur that is the imprint, the symbol of the mythosaur.
Oh, the symbol. Yeah, that's right.
There is only one Mandalorian who sported that version of the mythosaur symbol, and that was Jango Fett.
Oh gosh, see, this is why we need Brandon around here. I miss all those.
Oh no. I'm not going to take credit for this. This has been a buzz in various forums on this thing because I was like, "Is that real?" And it's people had pictures in comparison to the one we saw before. The fact that it's different than the one that Grogu had on the necklace. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of alluding to the fact that we see what Boba Fett's mission is. To basically unite the tribes of Tatooine.
Yeah. That's his mission. I guess he is, and I'm waiting for the Sand People to rise up.
We see him going in that direction, and of course, the outliers and the interlopers who refuse to, respect one another are going to fall by his hand.
The Pike Syndicate,
right?
Yeah, I don't like those jerks.
So of course, we got we got going back to that episode. We got Din being exiled from the Mandalorians. She told him he's no longer a Mandalorian, but. She said he can go in the waters of such and such, which is going to be hard, but I mean, that's his new mission, right? No, it's not even. His new mission is, we get a little bit of a taste of it in the latest episode as he goes to deliver a gift that he had made, as you saw. So I'm just
I've been very curious about that gift.
Well, here's the thing. We've seen the gift. We know what the gift is. The gift is awesome.
Okay, don't say anything else. Okay.
We have let's see what else. We saw a little meeting between the various members of Fett's group in order to lay out what's going on with the Pike Syndicate. And yes, they still have the major domo of the mayor as their prisoner. Right. And he tries to contradict the Fennec Shan, and I just love the look that Ming-Na Wen gives him is classic Ming-Na Wen. We've seen her do it as when she was on S.H.I.E.L.D., when she just anything she's ever been
awesome.
in. Yeah. I mean, I just watched a horrible sitcom on Netflix called Pretty Smart. It's bad, but it's good. And she plays one of the guy's moms in it, and she does the look there. And it's the whole "don't argue with me, don't get in my way" look.
Oh boy!
So of course, there's a moment though. There's a moment in that scene which I'm going to touch on, and I don't think it's a spoiler because you've seen the episode beforehand, when she refers to him as the Mandalorian Din Djarin. And even helmeted, you can see that he bristles under the fact of her calling him the Mandalorian because he knows he's been exiled.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
you can kind of see the shift in his shoulders as he kind of clenches up when she says the word the Mandalorian.
But he can still be restored. I'm just putting that out there. She said you got to go and bathe in the water or whatever, which I thought was kind of.
I think we're going to find out that the zealots that are the Death Watch are hypocritical in every sense of the word, because it is believed wholeheartedly by people who love the stories behind the Mandalorians and everything else, that the armor is Rook cast, and we have seen her unhelmeted.
Okay, gotcha. So, well, can I ask you one more thing?
But now we're going to get into the meat of this episode. It's another episode that deals with auxiliary characters, so you don't see a whole lot of Boba Fett moving forward.
I don't think we saw him at all in that episode.
We do see him in this one.
Okay.
But
careful. This
episode sets the stage for what could be a cataclysmic event next week.
Oh boy, because I heard it's a lot. They set up a lot for this week.
Yeah.
Can I ask you something?
It's cool.
Sorry, Alan. I know but you're up to date and I'm not. So basically, okay, he gets that modified Naboo ship.
Yeah.
What are those? Whatever those are. Nabooing
the
ships are cool.
N1 Starfighter.
Okay, and here's the thing. It's a one-passenger vehicle, and it's not even. It doesn't
not.
even have a bathroom. How does he do his bounty hunting with that? Or is that an indication that he's done bounty hunting?
Bounty hunting.
Or does it have a storage facility?
It doesn't have a storage unit. It's
it looks like a short-range fighter.
It's technically a two-person vehicle.
Well, the droid.
You have your pilot, and as we saw, they outfitted the droid pod with a dome and a seat.
Yeah, a Grogu bubble.
It's a Grogu
I wonder who
bubble.
might fit in there comfortably.
It's a Grogu bubble.
Right, exactly. So, but
no, I'm my biggest spoiler that I'm going to tell you about the newest episode is that it is heavily dealing with choosing a path.
That's what it seems like. He's at a crossroads.
Yeah. I'm not going to tell you who's. This is not about Din either. This is about someone else having to choose a path, and it is amazing.
Yeah, it's the twin huts. No, I didn't.
No. But let's just say that it was
they did choose a path. I think it went right to Krispy Kreme.
Yeah,
they went home. They gave Boba Fett a Rancor and a Danny Trejo and went home.
I'm done
honestly,
with the whole series at that moment.
Honestly, if I'm gonna leave and give you a parting gift, I don't think I can do much better out of respect than give you a Rancor and Danny Trejo.
There you go. Drop the mic on that one. You're listening to Geek Tank Radio here on News Talk 98.9, The Roar of Memphis. I think we might shift gears a little. We'll probably continue our discussion of Disney Star Wars, but also the future of Disney Star Wars and the Disney Marvel.
Geek Tank Radio. News Talk 98.9, The Roar of Memphis.
Funny, that's how I felt when I overheard Alan and Brandon talking spoilers against you promised you weren't going to spoil anything.
I said I wasn't going to spoil it for the audience. I don't care about you, man.
You stole the words from me, Joe.
Thanks a lot. And welcome back to Geek Tank Radio. I'm Joe I'm the disgruntled Joe Thorderson here with my friends Brandon Olmstead and Allan Gilbreth and our buddy Max behind the glass. And the problem with Brandon is he says this isn't a spoiler. And then the minute he says one thing, it's a spoiler. The way you phrase it, Brandon.
Your thoughts are...
Your phraseology is purposely...
I could literally have started the whole thing with, so the wind blows on Tatooine, and you'd been like, whoa, spoiler!
Yeah, you go like, such and such hasn't betrayed somebody yet. Okay, well, that's just...
Well, that's just
we're not talking about anything
in the future.
We're not talking about anything that's going on in the show itself so much as we're talking about the characters that we already know.
Yeah, okay.
That leads right to the future of all this.
Right.
We know these characters, we know their tendencies, and huge shout out. Thank you for letting a main character stumble.
Yes.
Show some vulnerability.
Now you're giving more spoilers.
No, I'm setting up.
You saw Dan cut his leg all open with the Darksaber? That's what Allan's talking about.
We've got to... All right, for once, and I'm going to pick on your precious waste of space Batman movies over the last 30 years.
Hey.
Yeah.
I am so tired of people picking up anything and instantly being an expert at it.
Yes.
You know.
Oh, okay. So
characters, you struggle, you foible. You and I are contractors.
You get bit by a.
You just don't just walk into a big box store, pick up XYZ tool you've never seen before, and just go all DIY show on it.
That's a good point.
It takes a minute.
I was going to say, you guys, and I love you guys. I got all sorts of respect in the world for you. But I know that both of you have had issues with things you've been using for years.
Sure.
Where we go into this and you're like, this worked before.
Yeah.
That is a good point, Alan. It's nice to see somebody working out how to use it. He didn't just pick up the Darksaber and start whipping around and become an expert.
One of my favorite scenes and related to the Darksaber and imperfection is in Star Wars Rebels when Sabine is being trained by Kanan, because it's like a therapy session in that show, and it's like she's actually struggling with weaponry even though she's been doing it her whole life.
Yeah, absolutely. So.
You know, welcome to a different level of storytelling. One of your number one complaints with the Star Wars movies has been the treatment of Luke.
Yeah.
Because they have played him off.
Yeah.
No, I am going to trigger you. I'm going to reach over and I'm going to take that nerve and I'm going to twist it for you.
We're talking about sequel trilogy, Luke.
I am talking Luke from the very beginning to the very bitter end. For some bizarre reason, Luke was going to epitomize the whiny Jedi. He was whiny in the beginning. He was whiny when he was being trained. He was whiny when he was supposed to be the hero. He was whiny to the very bitter end. All right, guys, kudos for maintaining the consistent whininess. But at some moment,
it's what we call Tony Stark syndrome in the modern day, because no matter how many movies he was in, it wasn't until the very end that Tony finally showed some, growth.
What was it? He finally has a little personality growth after 8 movies,
and then they kill him,
and then he dies. He dies of it. But they'll bring him back. It's okay.
Yeah.
All right. The one thing I have enjoyed the most about what they're picking up and running with is characters now are more than the one-dimensional dimension. They're showing extreme competence at the things that they do, and they're showing some not-so-competent things at the things they don't do.
Good point.
We're going to be seeing training sequences, no matter what Disney show we're going to talk about. Whether what's coming up next, Ahsoka?
I think Moon Knight first.
Moon Knight?
Yeah.
We're going to have... All right, if it's going to be Moon Knight, dude has got some psychological issues coming up. All I got to say is if episode 1 and 2 is an action-packed comic book show, I'm going to be deeply disappointed. Because, I'm sorry, the hero of Moon Knight, and if you're not a Moon Knight fan, here's a huge spoiler. Dude has got some issues.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Moon Knight.
I don't think that's a spoiler if you've seen the trailer.
I mean, even Spider-Man goes, they call him Mooney because he's loony. This is not a happy character.
Isn't it, too, Alan, one of these that, I don't think this is a spoiler, but if you read the comics, you might see him in a big dramatic situation. You might see him in the lap of luxury with all this stuff. A lot of this, you don't know if it's really happening or if it's going on in his head, right? Kind of like the Joker, right? In the Joker movie.
All right.
Similar.
The Joker movie was, besides a blatant theft of an earlier movie,
it was still awesome.
It was good. It was, and again, goes down to, we've talked about chemistry.
Yeah.
I will give the Joker movie credit for one massive thing. For the chemistry it needed to produce what it had, they had it.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of movies fail on that. And you and I have talked about the chemistry in the Star Wars and the Marvel universe. Because in the Star Wars universe, there have been some odd casting choices that once you see it, you can't imagine anybody else doing it.
Yeah.
Right.
But if they had put out to the wonderful grand World Wide Web, well, who do you think should play this character? I absolutely promise no one would have picked that person.
And nobody would have picked a storyline about a Mandalorian and a baby Yoda being, the centerpiece of a show, and yet look what it did.
And I just want to know how many people are actually dead and buried under that set to keep that a secret.
No kidding.
Because when they whipped out Little Frog Boy, as the whole universe changed, everybody shifted. Now suddenly Star Wars was interesting because they whipped out the one thing nobody expected.
Yeah.
A little baby Yoda.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't care what his name is. He will be the child, the gift, the present. He will be whatever he is, but he will forever be the shock and awe and surprise of the baby Yoda.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the Ahsoka stuff coming up, you don't have a choice. If you're going to advance this product, she became such a hit, and she was an aggravating character.
Yes.
Yeah, she started out as a very annoying character, and then she's like everybody's favorite now. So, yep. Well, it's funny you say that, Allan, because one of the things I had in my notes here, I was thinking maybe one of the reasons that Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau's style is so satisfying to watch is because, for one thing, it keeps you looking at characters in a new way. I would have never imagined I'd ever be rooting for Tusken Raiders.
I would have never imagined a spaceship airliner with like a kid looking back at you.
Right. Yeah, it's just looking at the galaxy in a new way, basically, and I feel like it's being open-minded and not being judgmental towards people. That theme is a good message for today. My other thought was everybody is redeemable. Everybody can be redeemed, which is, and we're seeing it in the shows, and those are good messages, and they're also enjoyable to watch. I love seeing villains convert. Sorry, Allan. I like seeing a villain do something good in the end, like Darth Vader.
A villain is only a villain from a point of view.
There you go.
Because I'll pick on Vlad Dracul. He is revered as the savior of his country. Now, if you were against him, you were, he didn't care.
Sure.
He wasn't looking for your opinion poll. Of one thing I have enjoyed from the very beginning of this, the very first time I saw the character Happy. Happy. The driver, Iron Man.
Oh, you're jumping around from Marvel.
Well, he's talking about.
No, well, we're talking about a very key figure in this universe.
Happy Hogan.
Well, you the first time you see him, you don't really realize who he is.
Okay.
No.
You're not thinking, oh, this is one of the dudes in charge.
Yeah.
But one of the dudes in charge of this universe plays a somewhat hapless character.
Yes.
That is vulnerable, beat up, human, blown up, slapped around, picked up, drives the car. I enjoy the fact that even his character in the movies has reflected a lot of the work that has gone into these characters all the way across the universe.
Mm-hmm. I see where you're coming from on that.
Yeah,
he's not just the driver.
Yeah.
You actually like the character.
Well, I mean, and you think about where Jon Favreau is right now with Star Wars. He's the driver.
He is.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's just good fundamental. I call it fundamental storytelling. These days, it's a little bit revolutionary, just because, in a way, Brandon, it reminds me because the first Star Wars came out in the 70s in the middle of a malaise, in the middle of a lot of negative feelings in America and everything. And now we're getting those same kind of vibes going on in Star Wars today with a lot of, we need it. Star Wars, we need it for our society. Who knows how much good it's done for our culture.
We'll figure out that when we get back.
Yeah, when we get back, we'll unpack that entire thing. You're listening to Geek Tank Radio here on News Talk 98.9 The Roar of Memphis. We'll be right back.
Geek Tank Radio.
Also, they told me you guys look like dorks.
They look like dorks!
News Talk 98.9 The Roar of Memphis.
I mean, it's a fair assessment. We do kind of look like dorks, I guess, but...
I would have liked to have been able to respond to that one, but my headphones glitched.
Okay. All right.
I'm just going to say my business card says supervillain.
Okay. Anyway, welcome back. That was lame. Welcome back to Geek
are.
Tank Radio. I'm Joe Thorderson here with my dorky friends Allan Gilbreth and Brandon Olmstead and our buddy Max behind the glass. And if you're just tuning in, we've been talking about the Book of Boba Fett. Obviously, the latest scene from The Batman. It was a funeral scene, which is wow. It's well worth watching. We hope you're as excited as we are about the new Batman movie. And I hate to do this public service announcement, Brandon, because it's going to work against me, but if you want to go see this movie on opening day, you better get your tickets February 10th, is it right?
February 10th, they'll go on sale, yes.
They're going to sell out quick. This is going to get people back to the theaters, Allan, whether you like it or not, man.
Joe's going to be sitting in his car somewhere with his laptop plugged into his car so that he's got power.
Yeah.
So that he can hit that button for his IMAX tickets as soon as they go on sale.
Oh, yeah. Gosh, this is the most excited I've been about for a movie in years. I can't even remember the last one I felt this way about. So, but guys, we were talking a little bit about the future plans for Disney Plus as far as Star Wars and Marvel. I know they always have a lot of other stuff going on, but I guess starting with Star Wars, Brandon, do you know kind of what we're looking for next?
We get the new Andor series in sometime this summer. I want to say it's in June. Cassian Andor, the least likable character in all of Rogue One, and that includes the Empire.
He does redeem himself at the end, though.
Yeah, but this takes place, a year before he has K2SO, so he's going to be a jerk, and he's not going to be a likable character. And I'm going to be rooting for his death.
It's set in a really unique period of the rebellion, which is what I like. And I mean, I like that he's a flawed character. Rogue One is still one of my favorite.
There's a difference between being a flawed character and being an outright unlikable jerk, and he is an outright unlikable jerk. The only person who likes him is K2SO because he's programmed to.
K2SO is awesome. So yeah,
best character in that whole movie. I love Rogue One. But K2SO is the best character in that whole movie.
He steals it, but there's always ulterior motives. With,
Alan Tudyk is a national treasure.
Oh yeah, with these movies, it's people might go. It's easy to be tempted to say, well, I don't care about this character. I don't care about the series. It's always about the era and about the people they're going to interact with. Because I've never liked Boba Fett, and yet this show is. It's winning me over, and I mean,
utterly captivating.
Yeah, so and learn to trust. I would say to people out there, just learn to trust Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. I don't know if they're involved in that show or not.
No. This was a Kathleen Kennedy mandated show. It could be awesome, but I'm never going to like that character.
Well, maybe you don't have to. No. Maybe he's not even the star of the show.
It's kind of like in Book of Boba Fett, though she hasn't given me any reason to, because of stuff I learned about in Bad Batch and the first time when she showed up in The Mandalorian. I don't trust Fennec Shan.
Well, good. That's probably a good instinct. So, but now
that's part of what's keeping your interest. Right. You're waiting on.
I want to see.
You're waiting on what's going to drop next.
Right.
Well, the next show that's in the era that we're dealing with now is Ahsoka. So, do you think they're going to run out this one and then bring in Cassian?
Well.
Or are they going to cross?
No. Cassian Andor, he's going to get his thing, and they're not going to worry about it. We don't have a release date on Ahsoka. We don't have a release date on Mando Season 3.
Okay.
Those are the two next in the line of this series. This timeline, this era. Knights of the New Republic has been canceled. It's completely gone now. They're not doing it at all.
Oh.
And there was something else that was supposed to be hitting around this time that has also been taken off the schedule.
I thought it was a Patty Jenkins one. It was going to be kind of like the X-wing something.
No, that was going to be the Rogue Squadron. That was going to be a movie. That wasn't going to have anything to do with this.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Was or
no?
Is?
Well, I mean, it's been pushed back. It's been taken off the release schedule. It's not been scrapped. At least they haven't officially scrapped it. Okay. But yeah, they've officially scrapped Knights of the Rangers of the New Republic, which I was really kind of looking forward to.
Yeah,
I like the idea of some rebel pilots just like going and basically like a SWAT unit going and cleaning up Imperial outposts.
Yeah. Okay.
But like I said, we know that Ahsoka's coming. They've cast Sabine Wren. We've got.
Ooh, I want to see her.
We've got.
Cool.
We know Anakin's going to be involved in it. Whether it be flashbacks, or I want them to just tease us with a little bit of Force Ghost Anakin, trying to basically leading Ahsoka on her path to being a great Jedi.
Yeah, is he? Can they do enough? I guess they could make him look flashback worthy. They can do de-aging and stuff.
I was going to say if you put him in the Vader suit when necessary, and you just see his face as a glimmer through it, you're good.
Okay, but what about also Obi-Wan? The Obi-Wan series?
Obi-Wan is supposed to be released sometime this year. It'll be, I think the last I heard was sometime in September or October, but it doesn't have an official release date yet.
Okay. Well, we know it's all the Star Wars universe, but that doesn't always necessarily mean they're going to interconnect everything. But I kind of get the feeling like these shows that are on Disney Plus, they're going to want to do some interconnecting, at least the live action, don't you think?
No. I mean, if you want to keep them, if you want to keep your era specific, I think the great thing about saga that lasts as long as the Star Wars saga has is you've got so many pieces so many places you could jump into the timeline and tell a story, and without actually having to have characters from this, that, and everything else, still be able to plant seeds for something that happens. Like there could be seeds in Andor that we see later on in Ahsoka.
Yeah.
But not necessarily actually having to connect those storylines.
I gotcha. Okay. Well, we're all.
We've gotten to this point where we're so used to what Marvel does, where everybody's in everything or somehow touches everything.
Yeah.
I think, but you've got a much broader span when it comes to something like Star Wars.
That's true, and I don't know. So far, they haven't let us down. And Disney Plus, we're not canceling our subscription anytime soon.
No, they're going to keep the mouse is keeping the money, baby.
The closest thing they've come to letting me down is the fact that I've got to wait at least a year before I find out where this is going to end. Because there's no way this is going to wrap up in one more episode.
I hope it doesn't. I like what they're doing. I mean, Clone Wars went 7 seasons, and I could have even had more of that. I would much rather. I would have enjoyed having more seasons of Rebels. That was 4 seasons, and so I mean, we'll as long as it's good storytelling, keep it coming.
I was going to say, from what it looks like, the Ahsoka series very well may pick up where Rebels left off.
That'd be great. Well, hey, can we shift to Marvel? Because Allan, sure. You know a lot more about Moon. I'll full disclosure, I really never read Moon Knight. I only know little bits and pieces about what you said. But what you've told us is that it's very gritty. The guy's obviously psychologically damaged. He's not even necessarily a hero, right?
He's taken over by an Egyptian death god. This is all right. Let's just start out with where the source of his powers is. Not a happy relationship to start with.
Were they forced upon him?
He didn't seek him out. He didn't go looking for him.
He was not.
So it's like the Fantastic Four. He
was not looking for a radioactive spider. Okay. He was just a guy, and
doing his thing.
And it's one of these PTSD kind of situations where. Domino A falls, which takes you a little further down this path than Domino B and then Domino C. And let's just start with the guy's last name is Spectre.
Ooh, that's a cool last name. I didn't know that.
I mean, he's gosh, what's the easiest way to say this? It's not a happy story. It's not a happy character. And the powers are not necessarily all that exciting.
But he's got a white suit too, which is crazy. I mean, he's meant to be seen.
But
right?
he's the Moon Knight.
Right. He's not hiding in the shadows.
No, he's gonna show out. I mean, all right, it's kind of like that effect when they tried over in Batman.
He's every 60s Batman.
Okay.
Yeah, when it comes to visibility.
Yeah, it's you're not really hiding. And the worst thing is the patron of your powers. It depends on how they want to play it, because the comic books have played it several different ways over the years. But if I'm looking at this movie and I'm looking at the show and I'm looking at what I'm seeing, they're going to go down the lines where the patron of his powers and he don't necessarily like each other or get along.
Okay.
Because there's a whole lot of, you're dead now, get up.
Okay.
I didn't say you get up. I didn't say you were done yet. So there's a lot of that. So I think we're going to get a more underbelly kind of hero. We're not looking at a Thor.
Okay, because
you're not going to get some grandiose ta-da, I'm from the past, I'm here to save the day. This is going to be more street level ish.
Okay,
grittier, harder, more. I think you're going to see more of a thriller, since Marvel, like Ant-Man and the Wasp, is more of a heist,
right,
kind of thing. And, every one of the Marvel series has had a little bit more of a theme to it.
Well,
this is going to be more film noir thriller.
One thing, too, to remember, and it sounds like they're going to flesh this out in Moon Knight, is having superpowers is not necessarily fun. Being a superhero is a huge burden. It's a big inconvenience. It's a hassle.
And we're going to explore a lot of that with this one.
Okay.
And you're also going to get a touch of that with Michael Morbius.
Okay.
Because he's not a happy character either.
Didn't even touch. That's a Sony, but I'm looking forward to that.
It's still a Marvel related, and neither of these are woohoo, I have superpower type characters.
No.
These are like, what in the name of bejesus has happened to me now?
Oh boy. Well, hey guys, so we've laid out the a little bit of the future. We didn't even touch on how to geek out when the power goes out. I guess the extent of my thing is I'll probably have to pick up a book and read it, Alan. But
oh, you poor thing.
Yeah.
Bring all your stuff up here and charge it so you can watch things on your computer.
Yeah, but no, I mean it's probably good to just go back. I think I'll bust out a few comic books or something and just by candlelight. Like
you could always just prep for our appearance at the home show.
Yeah, good point.
True.
So, real quick, we are going to be at the home show of the Mid-South on February. Hold on, February 25th through 27th at the Agri Center. If you want to come say hello to us, Tool Talk Radio will be broadcasting live. We'll be doing Geek Tank stuff there too. We'll give you more information in the weeks ahead. But guys, it's time to get out of here. So until next week, we are the Geek Patrol, and I am Joe Thorderson.
I'm Allan Gilbreth.
I'm Maximilian.
And I'm Brandon Olmsted, challenging you to hit Joe with all your Book of Boba Fett spoilers as soon as you can find his number.
No!